The prime Eric Ballou would win a foot race with Isaiah Robledo by 3 steps. I mean, are we running 4.2s now?
My memory's a little foggy.
Yeah. He's fast. He makes those guys as fast look not so fast.
Everybody always remembers their days different.
Oh man, yeah. I was gonna say, how's that been for the rest of the day? How many times have you heard about that?
Oh, I've brought it up to him a couple times.
Oh, okay.
It's more so me bringing it up than anything.
Isaiah denied it. I mean, he had to deny a couple of things this morning. And I had to set the record straight on a few different things.
There was a couple ones he denied greatly. Very forcefully.
Some hot takes.
Very much some hot takes out there. But Coach, we're here for Warren County versus White County. You always talk about being where our feet are. Where our feet are in Nunley Stadium tonight. This will be the third time you've been at home. What is the lookout for tonight's game now that we have our sights set on Sparta?
Yeah, I think we know what they're going to do for the most part, and it's them not hiding what they're good at. They've established an identity that they're going to be physical. They're going to run right at you, and when they see the opportunity, they'll throw the ball on offense. And they're kind of very similar on the defensive side of the ball. They're going to apply pressure, even when they're not exactly stunting. They're still going to be super aggressive on how they fit and how they play in pass coverage. So they're a team that we're going to have to match their intensity and aggressiveness for us to have success tonight.
As somebody said this week, Sullins, it might have been you, were talking about like styles making fights and this up there. Where
contrasting style.
Yeah. Now, granted, you came in here with the idea that your offense when it's clicking is a very run heavy team.
Yeah.
But what we've seen in Nunley Stadium, especially 2 weeks ago, 285 yards through the air, very efficient with the passing game. So tonight, with White County's going to run the ball, Warren County has established that it can throw the ball. Are you seeing things like that, or what do you think is going to be the difference maker thing tonight?
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out. But kind of to touch on what you said, we're very fortunate that we have had success doing multiple things. So we feel like it may be one of those nights where hey, they're taking this away, so now we have another option to do this. And I think that's what when we've been successful offensively, that's what we've done. Very rarely has it been hey, we're just going to do this and stick with that. I think where our identity is taking pride in being multiple. And our players have taken a lot of pride in that. Our players are very selfless. There's a lot of times where it may not be your night because what's going on over here is more available than what's going on for this guy. So we're thrilled about that. The selflessness of our players, and that allows us to have answers to some of the problems that arrive on a Friday.
This ball game, as far as a border battle, I think if you look at the schedule at the beginning of the year, there's 2 games that you're going to circle.
Yep.
Most fans will circle these 2 games: DeKalb County and White County.
Yep.
There's no doubt about it. Now, and you and I as coaches, the next game's always the most important.
Yeah.
But when it comes to fan bases and players, I'm sure this one's been circled by a lot of guys in that locker room. What is the feeling going into tonight? Because a lot of these guys, I mean, it's a little bit different than when you and I did it back in the day, Coach Ballou. We didn't really like opposing players.
Right.
Now they're all buddies on the gram and that type of stuff. Yeah. But, when you got a quarterback that lived in White County for many years, how is that dynamic working right now about an hour before kickoff?
Yeah, I think it's just something that we're going to lean into. These types of games is what makes high school football so special. It's not one of the. It's kind of like what we've talked about in the past. With Fair Week and Homecoming Week, and there's always going to be some type of distraction every week. And sometimes, in places like this that take so much pride in everything that we do, it may be more distracting to have just a plain old normal week. So I think what it all boils down to is that for both sides, that it just makes tonight more special, more memorable, and ultimately. I think I take pride in our staff does a great job coaching, and I think their staff does a great job coaching. So I think tonight, really what it's going to be down to is who makes the least amount of mistakes, who takes the advantage of the opportunities when the ball's in the air or if the ball's on the ground, and I think whoever comes out on top, that's just kind of that extra icing on the cake, and we want to be a part of, experiencing that in those big games. So I'm not going to say that it doesn't matter, but I don't think it's going to affect the production of our players.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, but I agree. I think that you had to take every one of them there. Was there any, when you first started here, we always go back and talk about, this is your first year, you're getting to get the first experiences of that. When you see some guys that start hanging around the locker room, I saw one down there that I've seen before in the Pioneer locker rooms today, but 44th time that this meetings, I mean, this game's been played more times than Blue's been alive on
Yep.
the I mean, for me, for that sake, me too. Maybe not Sells.
No.
Has there been any kind of introduction to Sparta in a sense like that, or is it you, like you said, just kind of being business as usual and just keeping it as it is, just next thing up?
Yeah, and I learn, I hear about, especially Brady, him, being, living in Sparta for a long time. He has a lot of knowledge and background about, everything that's going on there. And obviously we're going to take that into account, whatever experience he has. But, ultimately this is just something that's special. And I think this is something that's kind of disappearing. I think we've talked about before, just with population growth. And there are very, very few one-county schools left, across especially the Southeast. So this is something that I hope stays this way for a very long time, because that's really, like I said, is what makes high school football really special.
Yep. Blue right there just said no new Warren County high schools.
No.
Anytime soon. He got political with that answer, Coach.
I think 24 county commissioners would probably agree. One thing I want to bring up, Coach Blue, and not to get off tonight's game, but we've got a program that's coming in tonight that is a little bit similar to has went through some of the things that maybe you're going through this year. They went to the non-region deal probably 6 years ago.
Yep.
And if we look at White County, I would say 6 years ago at that time, Jeff, we were around during that time. They had fallen on some hard times. They decided they need to reset, and it looks like for the last 6 or 7 years, this has been a positive for them. They hit the Dial kid went on to Austin P, and then the Pinion kid, who was a spectacular young man. But now it looks like their program it's built, so to speak. They're bringing in. I've got some knowledge with their basketball team and those type of things, and they've got a lot of kids that probably 5 years ago wouldn't be playing football that's decided to do that. I'm going to ask you this question: you're 6 games in. Now we're looking at 2025, but has there been anything that has happened in the last 6, 7, 8 weeks that you can say that is something that I can say we're starting to build a program? Are there kids that are saying, I want to play football now? In some ways, I guess that's my question is, we know the record, we know we've improved as a football team, but when you look at it, hey, long term, this is a step that we needed to take, and I see that happening now.
Yeah, I think so, and I think a lot of that starts going all the way back to our rec team. With Tony Solomon and what all those guys are doing. They've had a lot of success, been competitive and won a lot of games down there. Yep. And I think Matheny in the middle school just had a great year, was super competitive, also won a lot of games. And I think really what is being set up is, obviously we want to win every game that we play. We're going to be worried about being, goal-oriented for this year. But I also feel like, and this is not something that I can accomplish just as the head football coach of the high school. What's been super exciting to see is all the investment from the rec league all the way up through the middle school to the high school. And that goes back to, we had a meeting with the rec coaches and just talked about long-term goals. We really didn't even talk about scheme or anything, because it was what do we want the institution of Warren County football to be like. Yep. And I can't thank those guys enough for all of us being on the same page. And that's really exciting. And I think that's something that I'm not super knowledgeable about it. I actually coached against White County in 2019, the year that they started that. Yeah. So to kind of see them at the beginning and see where they've gotten to now, you got to pay your respects to, absolutely. So.
It is interesting to think about that in the process, that where they're kind of 6 years. They went 2, and then they went back, and then everything come back, and then what you kind of almost want to, in some aspects, say, hey man, in 6 years, if we're doing the same things that they've been able to accomplish in their 6 years of doing this, then we're gonna feel pretty good about what we're doing now. But we don't do 6 years. Yeah, we do about 65 minutes.
That's right. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
And what's been the message to the team today, and what's going to be the message to them here in the next 15 minutes when you get back down there to talk to them about what's going on tonight? Because obviously this is going to be a big matchup.
Yeah, I think the big emphasis is this is probably a little bit schematically different than what we've seen from most teams, especially with what they do on the offensive side of the ball. So there's been a lot of prep in that with their new formations that we haven't seen really all year. So ultimately, with these new things that are showing up schematic wise, what it boils down to is, what are we going to do? Yep. That's what we say it all the time, be where our feet are, keep moving and all those things. But it's important for us to understand that, if we want to accomplish what we want to accomplish, It matters what we do. You know, it matters how we execute, us worrying and controlling what we can control. And if we do those things, we've got a chance to be successful. If we get so caught up in, I've never seen this before, or, you know, I don't think our guys are going to do that. They've been super locked in, and it's been a very traditional week. And that's what's great to see is when you have all these new things and it still feels like, you know, hey, we're getting after it every day is encouraging.
Go ahead.
I like what you said there because in some ways I watched a little bit of White County and Macon County last week. White County seems to be a team that it's not that they do a lot of things different, but it's a style that you probably are not going to see a lot in the mid-state Upper Cumberland. A lot of teams are not playing this style. How hard is that to get a team ready for as far as, hey, we can't go back and say these are the things that we did well against a team that's very similar, because this is a football team that's probably going to play a style that's not anything that you're going to see for the other 9 weeks of the season.
Yeah, you know, I think one mistake that we didn't want to make is we didn't want to wholesale change, right? We're not going to change our whole defense, not going to change our whole offense based on what somebody else is, you know, what they do. So, you know, we've got to fit, create a successful plan that fits within the realm of what we're trying to do on our side of the ball. We can't let somebody else dictate, you know, our decision making and our decision processes. So, you know, we've made the minor adjustments and tweaks. You know, best example I heard, it's kind of like, you know, stock car racing. You know, you're gonna tweak. You know, make I don't know anything about cars, but you know, you're gonna make your adjustments on your vehicle based on the track that you're gonna play, but you're not gonna drive a completely different vehicle, right? Yeah. So that's kind of where we feel like we are. And, you know, ultimately we still feel like at the end of the game, as successful as White County is, it's going to be up to us and how we execute that's going to be the end result.
We're taking a little bit out of that back route.
I like that there. I like it. Last question I have. This will be the 7th straight week we've played.
Yep.
Correct? 7 weeks road. You got fall break coming up. Next week, and everybody around here, like, I'm sure as a football coach, you're ready for fall break. We need a break. What do you after we win the football game tonight? What does next week look like as far as does this team, do they need a rest? Because a lot of times you talk about when fall break or breaks, you're sitting there going, hey, we need a break right now. So a lot of coaches saying, hey, we're on a roll. We want to keep playing. Where are you at right now with this football team when it comes to that?
Yeah, you know, I'm a traditional. We're going to practice 3 days, you know, during your bye week, and we're actually going to do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, and we're going to do that in the morning, and it's going to be. You know, we physically do need to rest. I think it would be foolish for us to not take advantage of that and get our legs back underneath us. We're very fortunate to be healthy. Well, that's not wood. Yeah, we're very fortunate.
Watch out, something about to fly out.
Very fortunate to be healthy, you know, but, you know, just when you go 7 straight weeks plus the 3, you know, the scrimmages, we've got to get, you know, our feet back underneath us. And, you know, White County's feeling the same thing, right? You know, it's one of those deals where we can't feel bad about ourselves for playing 7 straight. You know, everybody's doing it. So, you know, it'll be really good for us. It'll be a good time for us to kind of step back and go back to some foundational things, you know, for 3 days. Going to have the seniors over to eat on Monday. That's going to be a blast feeding those guys, you know. That's always the
whole top floor, you know.
Penthouse.
Penthouse suite up there.
But yeah, you know, take some time to spend some non-football time together. I think is going to be important. Wednesday night, I'm going to bring y'all probably some ribs.
I love it.
I've been looking forward for it for weeks.
Yeah, do a little rib drive-by, just give them to you and then take off. You know,
this guy just went up. You know what I mean?
He's hitting all the right buttons. And then he also would like to let everybody know that once he does that and leaves and he's done those 3 days, don't text him between like Thursday and Sunday because the man wants to be because he's gonna be a dad baloo for about 4 days and husband baloo.
Probably will turn my phone off for about 4 days.
I understandable completely. Hey, last thing I was going to ask you, you know, we were talking about the schematic things and stuff like that. Is there any kind of disinformation you need to leave us that we can kind of throw out here? To go with a little Mike Leach over there and drop a
the 5 wide. Throw it every down.
Yeah, we're playing. We're going to a 7-2 defense right now. You know, we're putting 6 defensive linemen. You know, anything like that.
No joke. I have seen a coach on another. It wasn't here. It was a couple years ago. I've seen a coach drop a fake play sheet onto our sideline before. And I mean, it was just like. It was terrible, and it was just like it was unbelievable. But that exists. That happens.
Well, Coach, we're going to take any more of your time. We're going to let you go, and we're going to go to break. And when we come back, it looks like we're going to have another person up on the stage. But this is Jeff Simmons, Coach Eric Ballou. Good luck tonight.
Appreciate you guys.
If you need anything, hey, good luck tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Me and
Appreciate
Sellens will be back here in about 2 minutes. We're going to take a break.
How come I don't look like that when I wear the
What's up, bro?
How you doing, buddy?
What have you been
See you a little bit, man. Appreciate you.
Have you come to town? You don't tell me in town? What's up with that?
Got clogs or plumbing trouble? Roto-Rooter in Warren County is under new local ownership. Still family run for 3 generations. Serving DeKalb, Smith, White, Van Buren, Sequatchie, Grundy, and Marion counties. Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away goes trouble down the drain.
Kate Apple and them.
Our daddy has the best barbecue in town. Come on down to Colin River Barbecue.
That's fine.
17.
That's fine. We'll be ready.
How long are you in town?
McMinnville.
I'm going to the Alabama game tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Tommy Foster, owner of Foster & Foster Realty and Auction Company. We understand that buying or selling a home is more than just a transaction. It is a life-changing experience. That's why our team of seasoned real estate professionals are dedicated to providing exceptional, personalized service. We take great pride in the relationships we build and always work relentlessly on the client's behalf to help them achieve their real estate goals. Let us be your real estate.
All right, we are back here on the Pioneer pregame show, and we got a little we made a quick change, man.
Went from a coach to a living legend.
Sullen, go ahead and make this introduction. You know this guy,
world famous. Warren County's second best football player ever. Now, he's the best athlete we ever had, but we think that he's at least a top 3 guy. Mr. Football.
I have called him the best Pioneer of all time.
The man, the myth, the legend, C.J. Taylor.
What's up?
What's going on, man? How you been?
Brother?
Second best?
You already made him mad.
Well, he's going to rip on me, too. You know what I mean? He's going to tell me all the wins I got was because of him. You know what I mean?
Oh, understandable,
Which is true.
CJ, sounds like
CJ?
been in town? First time that you've been in town since this season started?
Yeah, since the draft, yeah. It's the first time I've been in McMinnville since then. This is my first game. I usually try to catch one Pioneer game before the season ends. So this is my first one. I'm in Florida now. I'm here to check them out, see how they go.
I'm sure that I saw you over there by the locker room, so I'm sure you've been able to see the team a little bit, maybe get to talk to them before the game.
Yeah.
What's the big message tonight? I mean, you've played in this game before.
Yeah.
What's your message?
In high school, it's all about turnovers, limiting turnovers, and creating turnovers. So I was talking to Brady Swallows, the quarterback, and take care of the ball. Mm-hmm. I hate when people say, "Oh, don't turn the ball over," because no one's meaning to turn the ball over. So why even say it? But limit turnovers, and hopefully on the defensive end, they can get some turnovers.
Yeah.
Okay. You just brought up Brady. I know from some outside sources, you've talked to Brady a lot this year.
Mm-hmm.
You've done some film study and those type things. How when you're talking to Brady about things like tonight and what's going on in high school football, what's some advice that you've given him for the last during this time?
That the best players in high school aren't really smart, to be honest.
Really?
I would say that I was one of the better players in high school, and I didn't know jack about defense. So it's not even that he has to try to outsmart them; they're gonna mess up themselves.
Okay.
So the big play will come. Just make sure that you're precise on where you're throwing the ball. If you're gonna miss somewhere where no one else is gonna catch it. So we talk about defense a little bit, and more we talk about just him and how he can become an expert in what he does.
Gotcha.
This kid goes up there to Vanderbilt, and he comes back, and he's smart Coach.
Gets a 4-year VU degree, and look at him, man. 36 on the ACT there or something.
So my question is now: Are you a smart football player now?
Yes.
We losing sound over there,
Yeah.
Chad? Or we good?
We're good.
All right, just making sure. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was in high school, I thought I knew it all.
Yeah, I will concur.
I went to Vanderbilt, and I was telling Coach Lee my first year, I was like, I should be playing. He was like, you know what? Come to my office on Sunday. So we played the game. I didn't play. Went to his office on Sunday. I should be playing, Coach. He said, okay, sit down. Let's get on the board. Draw cover 3. I was like, okay. couldn't draw a cover 3. He was like, so how can you play? You don't even know what cover 3 is. So at that point, it didn't matter about talent. It didn't matter if I was 6'6", 250 pounds. It didn't matter if I was 5'9" and ran a 4.3. You got to know the playbook. So at that point, in that moment in my life, I had to realize that it didn't really matter what I was going to do on the field. I have to be able to show it and explain it to someone that doesn't even know football.
Basically, pregame preparation has a lot to do when it, okay.
Yeah, because everyone in college is talented.
Yeah.
If you make one bad step, touchdown. And you won't play.
Well, and you learn that. You learn that one the hard way too.
One thing, you know, and we don't want to get off the Warren County deal too much, but hey, you came in tonight and you told me tomorrow that you know you can't take Simmons and I out to lunch or dinner because there's a big football game that you've got your eyes on. You're gonna go to Alabama tomorrow and watch Vanderbilt. You were a part of, well, you know, probably one of the biggest wins, biggest upsets. It kind of put Vanderbilt on the map last year,
Absolutely.
and that's continued to grow. What I know you're proud of that. You're proud of what's happened, and you were kind of a building block of that. What's your outlook when it comes to that ball game tomorrow?
The guy at the helm, Diego, they're gonna win tomorrow.
There you go.
That's what it is.
It's funny he says that, Jeff. If you'll remember, there was a conversation we had last year about we were at the DeKalb County's football game last year.
Yes, we were.
Sitting there, and CJ was talking about the Vanderbilt football program and how it was making some strides, and I think there were some people, I don't want to say rolling eyes, but we've heard this before.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying, "We've got a dude at the quarterback position."
Yeah.
When did you know he was a dude?
His first day, he wasn't even allowed to work out with us because he was still finishing up his degree at New Mexico State, and it's against the rules for him to work out with the team. So he's in there like he didn't have a car. And at the time, I had 2 cars. So he's like, yo, CJ, I need to borrow your car. I'm like, nah, you ain't borrowing this car because I didn't know him at the time. I'm not going to loan my car to someone I don't know. Yeah. So the dude, I get up a little early, and I see him walking from my apartment complex, which is like 2-3 miles from campus. I see him walk, and he's halfway there. And it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. And he's like, I was like, bro, what are you doing, bro? He was like, I got to go work out. I got to get in there before everybody sees me because I can get in trouble. And I was like, yeah, at that moment, I'm like, yeah, this dude's crazy. And then we're in practice whenever he became eligible to practice with us and stuff. And me and him would sit there and watch film after practice, and he would ask me, like, why I did this, or in cover 4, why was I showing this? And, like, we would talk to each other, and I just realized how smart he was. And obviously, he's not the most talented, and I'm not either. But people that go to Vanderbilt, you're not the most talented, or you wouldn't be at Vanderbilt. You go to Vanderbilt because you're misunderstood, or you didn't get looked at the way you're supposed to. So we're misunderstood there, and Coach Lee will say that too. We go there just to prove a point. We're the red-headed stepchild, as you would say. Yeah, sorry, Stellans.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I mean, you say that there was a tone that he brought to the team. There was a tone that you could just pick up from that, and then I'm assuming. When y'all actually got to put the pads on, get out there, and then, of course, when y'all started y'all's season last year, I mean, early, were there any plays that stood out that you knew that y'all's team was different? Not even maybe Diego, but just yourself or anybody out there where you early in last year's season when y'all made y'all's run, was there something you're like, okay, this is where we're going to be somewhere this year? Yeah,
with NIL and stuff, we got some transfers in. It wasn't only Diego, but obviously the quarterback's the most important position. Without the quarterback, the team's not a team. But I seen some stuff on the defensive end. Randon Fontenette, he was a transfer from TCU. You know, he lights up the film. So it was individual impacts that led to me believing that we could be better. But with that being said, we all came together and we created a brotherhood.
We talked about the Vanderbilt game last year, and everybody knows what happened after the game. You got the goalpost tore down, but the Netflix deal, everybody watched that.
Yeah.
I think that you guys had a belief. You had made the comment you were going to go win that football game. I think you made that comment before the football game was played.
Yeah, I said it on Wednesday.
You said it on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. At what point in time during that football game did you think your football team said, we're going to win this football game?
Well, we had them on the ropes, and we held the ball for, I think it was 42 minutes of the game, and they scored one play because of me. And at that point, I'm like, well, I'm not going to allow another one.
Yep.
So we're gonna win. And me personally, I thought that we were good because I gave up a touchdown and we were stopping them every other time. So when I gave up that touchdown, it was like no more.
You're bringing up how Vanderbilt plays on the offensive end. I think White County plays a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're a methodical football team. They're not going to sit there and big play you to death. It's 4 and 5 yards, 8, 9, 10-minute drives.
Yep.
How hard? What would you tell Warren County's defense tonight when it came to playing that style? You've been on the defensive side of the football. Mm-hmm. How hard is that to play against, and what would you tell those guys tonight to say, hey, we've got to get them off the field. We can't allow them to have those 6, 7, 8-minute drives that just demoralize a football team.
Yeah, so when you talk to a random person about, what do you think the most important thing is, just getting off the field, they're going to say third down. But it's really not third down. It's first down. So if you get them off a schedule,
got them behind the chains.
If you get them playing behind the schedule, if it's first, it starts off 1st and 10. If you can get it to second and 13, 2nd and 8, you're on a trend to get off the field. But if it's third, if they get a big chunk play on first down and it gets to 3rd and 2, they're getting that. And if they don't, they're going for it on 4th. It's high school football. They're not punting. Yeah. So you're gonna be on the field for a while if you don't get a stop on first down.
Yeah, that is an interesting way that, like you said, putting it like that when you start seeing that, I have to think like defensively. Though it's bad. Like he just brought it up last year. The one play that's me touchdown is bad. The 15 play,
yes,
and every single time you're like, we were one tackle away, one more yard. That almost feels like it would be a lot more demoralizing because, like you said. One play, you're like, I can fix one play. 15 plays is
15 plays, and they just kept eating at me. They just kept gnawing at me. And watching Vanderbilt play, and I've watched a lot of Vanderbilt play, the last couple of years for obvious reasons.
Yep.
And I've watched them a lot this year. They do pretty much the same thing. They're hard to get off the field. They just wear on you, and you can tell at times that when you play that style. It almost wears you down to the point where you just want them to score early on. I don't want a 14-play drive. I want to get off the field.
And I know Coach Beck, the offensive coordinator at Vanderbilt, it doesn't matter if they're on plus territory, minus territory, unless it's on their own 5-yard line. If it's 4th and 1, they're going for it.
Yeah.
Don't matter where it's at. They trust Diego, and that O line is, they're going to move the line. So.
Yeah. You're
just a local.
Everybody knows CJ Taylor. Let me ask you this, because last 4 years you've been playing just defense, but like going back to that in high school, like defensively, were there times where you're like, can we just get back on offense real quick? I'll go get this 7 back, boys.
There was some time, like when we played Blackman at Blackman, we were up like 21-0, and I told Coach Bond, he was the DC, like, bro, I can't go out there. I don't even want to go out there. I want to score touchdowns. So at that point, I in my mind, I was just an offensive-minded person. I knew how important defense was, but, bro, defense is tiring, and not a lot of people want to do it. That's why it's so important if you can find a great defensive piece. That's why it's so important.
Was that, bringing up that Blackman game? Was that the night that y'all really realized in your senior year that man we're really good?
We grew up playing together, so we knew. I knew. And once we got Case and Rowland, all the baseball guys out.
Yeah.
I knew we were going to be good. It was just more or less making them believe.
Yeah. That's interesting to say. Y'all knew. I think Blackman was the game I thought it. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. No, this team's legitimately
beat Blackman, came here, played Cookeville 24-0. We was just striking people's. They didn't know what to do.
How often do y'all kind of still talk with that team, with those guys?
I talked to a little bit, a small group of them. When you start your life.
I was gonna say, you're not gonna be able to see all 30, 40 guys every single time or talking to them. I'm sure there's still a handful of guys. Still probably keep in touch.
For sure.
One question we all get. Simmons gets it 10 times a week. I'll probably get it 10 times a day. But they want to know about 2 guys. They always want to know about Trevor because Trevor's just a local legend.
Yep.
They will always, hey, what's CJ doing now? Where's their? I kind of know, but tell me where CJ Taylor's at. Let the community know where CJ Taylor's at right now.
Or let them know what you can let them know.
Exactly. Some things you don't let them know. Huh?
Yeah. So I'm currently in Florida.
Yep.
Residency in Florida. The NFL, it's still in the works. it's a business, so you got to wait your turn, kind of like what I did my freshman year at Vanderbilt. So you got to be patient. God has a plan, and we'll make it happen.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, hey, keep battling out there, keep grinding. I hope everything goes well. Go down there and beat Alabama. Man.
Absolutely.
Love
You on the sidelines tomorrow? We're going to be on the sidelines tomorrow?
Yeah, I will.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I
Down there with Johnny Manziel and them.
Hey,
Well, I appreciate you inviting me.
is he a Vandy? Is he? You are like
He's
a Vandy legend,
legend.
SEC
He's a
guy
legend.
tomorrow?
Somewhat like that.
That's
somewhat.
okay, cool, man. All right, tell you what, CJ, man, it's good seeing you always.
Thank you.
Brother.
Hey, we're going to take a break
Love you.
real quick on the Pioneer pregame show. I want to let you know about our sponsors on the Pioneer pregame show. We got Tree City Realty, we got Scooters Coffee, we got with us Coffee Bank and Trust, Ben Lomond Connect, and also Greens Pressure Washing is also a big sponsor of us. And hey, shout out Grace Family Pharmacy.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to take a
Pioneers.
break. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Yeah, I was going to say. All right, we are back here on Star 107's. I am Jeff Simmons. I am joined by Chris Sullins. This is the Pioneer Pregame Show. Want to let y'all know about the sponsors of the Pioneer Pregame Show. That includes Tree City Realty, 210 North Chantry Street, 474-7355. From fixer-uppers to forever homes, Tree City Realty is here to help you grow. Backed by years of local know-how, Jonathan Jones and his team bring persistence and passion to every deal. Tree City Realty grows some roots with Pioneer football and the Pregame Show. Scooters Coffee.
Scooters Coffee. Wake up and fuel your day at Scooters Coffee in McMinnville, Tennessee. The newest drive-through coffee stop on Smithville Highway, serving up handcrafted drink, smoothies, pastries, and more. Swing by for high-quality, made fresh delights that hit the mark every single time. And Scooters Coffee is a proud sponsor of the pregame show, and they do us right every single time we do this.
The strawberry banana smoothie is absolutely good. It's, Chad, how is yours?
It was the best thing ever.
I told you, man. Graves asked. I asked Graves. I said, "Hey, Trev's not going to be here. I could probably swing you a drink today." He's like, "What do you suggest?" I said, "Well, that strawberry banana smoothie I had last time was pretty solid."
I'm glad we could swing. I'm glad we could.
That whole thing down.
Attaboy.
I'm glad we could swing the owner a drink. I'm glad we got that much pull.
Membership has its
We
privileges.
could get the owner of this the drink.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Greens Power Washing. When your home or business needs a fresh look, call Greens Power Washing. Owner Jalen Green brings pride, care, and community spirit to every job. Did we lose our green sign?
Yeah. Hey, we're sitting on the green sign.
Oh,
Let's
we
be
sitting on
honest.
the
He made this. He made this into what it is. Looks great.
Well, we appreciate Greens Power Washing. And hey, Coffee Bank and Trust, 569 Chantry Street. Get ready for the big game. Coffee Bank and Trust in McMinnville has your back, cheering for your hometown heroes while providing hometown banking from winning checking to goal-scoring loans. They're local, trusted, and ready to support your financial game plan. I knew he lost it. Graves has found it. Look at that.
Yeah, attaboy.
Green Power Washing, 607-0907. Appreciate that. Hey, and also we would be remiss if we did not point out,
Yes.
way back in August, we put out a challenge.
Yes.
And we have delivered on that challenge. We delivered that $2,700 to the football team. Hope they had a good meal tonight. Probably going to need it.
I heard that Prater's furnished that meal tonight.
Oh, Prater's Barbecue. Well, hey, Prater's Barbecue is one of the many businesses that helped join in with the Warren County Sports Authority to help raise money for the pregame meals, and that was including Sullins Transport, Walnut Transportation, Prater's Barbecue, Mud Bums, Lee Holland State Farm Insurance Agents, Jonathan Hutton with Outkick, Martin Corkle Landscaping, Morrison Mill, North Warren, Lawn Care, Blue Line Lawn Care and Pressure Washing, J&A Fence, First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, Chris Springs Market, Graves Family Pharmacy, Napa, McMinnville, Rimco, Houston's Nursery, Kirby and West Williams, Mr. James Bennett and Dr. Courtney Bennett, Caton Farms, Justin Gaither with Exit Realty, and Generations Gaithers. Hey, folks, if you heard your name called right there and you haven't still sent in your donation, we will be taking those. Or actually, if you have that still, send that to the school athletic fund, because we have sent all the money we collected. It's been sent out. Yep. We're not taking any more money in. You can give it to the school and give it to their athletic fund. I'm sure they would be appreciative to that. Or you can write a check to the Football Booster Club and give them more money for food. Another excellent job. I was wondering when someone was going to parallel park over here. They finally did it.
Finally did. And I might have got a little bit too close there. I mean, we scratched the door on the door with the chain link there.
Yeah, might have wanted to let them out. I don't know. Yeah. Well, we saw. It's always interesting seeing CJ back.
Oh, absolutely.
Because as we noticed, we're sitting here and somebody tries to bring him a drink.
Yeah, I mean, you got people just serving him on spot.
Yeah,
not a lot's changed. You know what I mean?
No, not at all. But man, it's great to see him, and hope everything's going. It's nice to catch up and let everybody know what was going on with CJ. I know that I think he's got some irons in the fire.
Yep.
That's a story for him to tell on another day.
I'm sure that's a story that will be covered in years, in the months and weeks to come. So,
oh yeah, I think you will see that name.
I think the Main Street Journal will have a lot to talk about.
Yep. I hope so. Well, I hope we have a lot to talk about tonight after tonight's game, and I hope a lot of it's good. But Coach,
tell me,
this is the general question, and I think this is the easiest question. Is this the best team Warren County's played so far this year?
I don't think there's any doubt. This is the best. Based on this, if we look at just prior scores and common opponents, they're a football team that beat Livingston Academy a couple weeks ago, and I think if we look and see what's happened this year, Livingston Academy is a team that probably we struggled with as much as anyone.
Yep.
They're a 5-1 football team. I think they're undefeated in region play.
Won 5 in a row.
They've won 5 in a row. This is a football team coming in that I'm sure is pretty confident about what's going on. They seem to really understand what their identity is, which we've talked about a little bit on Wednesday night show, and we've talked about it with Coach Blue. It's a contrasting style.
Yeah.
It's when I look at White County and some of the films that I've watched them play, there's a lot of I guess what I would say, it's a slow, methodical, they kind of beat you down, so to speak. Where Warren County, it looks like at times, is more of a high-powered, let's get out and get the crowd behind us and those type things. I think it's going to be a style that there's a huge contrast. But there's no doubt this football team that White County has right now is as good as any football team that we've played.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we've got a guy here.
Come on in.
Yes,
come on in.
There's
We got a
our
chair
boy.
for you, big guy.
It's the first opposing guest we've had.
We promised the people on Facebook that we'd have a little bit of behind the enemy lines.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad Trev's not here, because Trev he'd be red right now. You know what I mean? You can't be putting that guy up here on the stage.
Yeah, can't be representing Sparta out here.
Trev's out running for mayor, I know.
He's already won that, I promise.
Yeah.
Coach Dodgen, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you guys
doing pretty well. We were just talking about how great this and formidable this Sparta football team is. Tell us a little bit about it. What has powered this team to a 5-1 start, including beating Macon County last year?
Well, as you guys know, Eric Mitchell's going to take all the credit for it.
I got a good one on that here in a minute now.
No, he holds his breath for every football game that goes on, especially with Sims and Pinion.
Yep.
It's a culmination, I think, of a bunch of kids that have bought into Coach Foster's system at the last minute, you know, and kind of answered a lot of questions that they had. And it's a group of boys that have been together for a long time and have kind of built a lot of things with the Broyles kid. And, you know, then you've got, obviously, Lex Winfrey.
No stranger to Warren County fans.
And I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm a defender on the defensive side and Lex Winfrey's at fullback, I'm probably going to ask for a sub and just get out of the way. I'm just getting a sub and getting out of the way. But then you've got Pinion, who's done a really good job of just managing the offense. And Cole Sims guys, he's a man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a man. I mean, he's averaging almost 31 carries a game. And that's just a workload. And, you got Eli Smith and you got some other guys out there that just are doing their jobs. They're not trying to be superheroes. They're just doing their jobs. And it's funny, we were talking about it last week in the Macon County game. I've never seen a high school football team anywhere that controls the game clock as well as they do. And they don't panic. Yeah, they have some delay of games, but they don't panic. I mean, it's just 5 yards in a cloud of dust.
Now, you just said that. Sims is averaging 31 carries a game, but it's not like he's not playing defense. Like, he's one of their top tacklers,
He never comes off the field. He plays special teams. I mean, funny thing, Mitchell always says to Coach Foster, he's like, can we at least get him off the kickoff team to give him a 5-minute break? Just a little bit of a break. But, these kids worked so hard in the offseason, and to be able to do that, and Coach knows, when CJ played, when you never come off the field, your body's got to be in a different shape than what it is for anything else.
Yeah.
And that takes special athletes to be able to commit and to do that stuff.
Yeah. I agree. How many minutes do you think Mitchell's going to play Sims?
30, 32, 36.
34 in a 32-minute game.
Well, let's be honest, boys, as much as Jessica tells him to.
Yeah. We're going to bring up a couple of it, and you just talked about it. We talked about it with Coach Eric Ballou, our new football coach, has come in this year. We're going through some of the same things that we went to the non-region schedule. I was coaching basketball back during that time and had a great relationship with you and Eric. And White County football at that time was on some pretty lean. It was a pretty lean time. A lot of lean years.
A lot of leans. Yes.
I think there was a thought process of, hey, we've got this Dow kid in a group that's pretty. They're pretty good, but we don't know if we can keep this going. Then Malachi Lees goes to Austin Peay, had a great career, and then Trip Pinion comes in, and we all know how good that's been. I think this is the first group that it's not one kid.
That's right.
It's and I don't want that to be taken the wrong way. You've watched it, Coach.
Yep.
Now, and I don't think there's any doubt that White County, I would say this publicly, that White County for many years was thought to be a basketball school, and it still is.
Yeah.
But football has now become important. What has been very impressive about this to you as far as where it was and where it is now? And they've almost, the thing that I think gets lost, this is now their third football coach.
Correct.
And but they seem to continue to say, hey, we're not going back to those days. We're going to keep moving forward.
Well, and it's the same in basketball too. At any school, and I don't care what school, what program it is across the country, it all starts with your younger stuff. And the constant that they've had, it's the same guys coaching your peewees, coaching your junior leagues, coaching your senior league kids. Your middle school might change a little bit, but it doesn't change a lot. But they're all getting the same type of coaching and commitment that keeps those kids together. And then when you get to the high school level, hey, it kind of fades together. We're in the same boat that you guys were kind of in, of we were in a region that nobody really knew where to put you. So one year we're with Cleveland, Bradley, and TOSAA always says, hey, we don't want to put you in the Eastern time zone. Every one of our games are in the Eastern time zone.
Yeah.
Then we go to Green Hill, Mount Juliet, and it's just a different breed.
We live that.
Yes. I mean, it's just a different breed of stuff. So when we were making that transition, you had those kids coming in that everybody thought, okay, if we can survive and keep it together, this group's got a chance to turn it. I don't think everybody thought we're going to turn it that quick.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, it's your leadership.
Yep.
Mark Frazier came in there, took over. Mark was passionate about White County athletics, brought in people on his staff that were passionate about White County athletics and White County football, and then it started building. Now, it did help that you had a guy that could go for 99 on every play, and it makes and you guys know, y'all are part of coaching, you don't look good unless you got good players.
Yeah. It does help.
I mean, it helps a
It
lot.
helps a lot.
When you get in the huddle and say, toss right, run. Okay. Now, on the flip side of that, then you brought in Tripp.
Yep.
Tripp and Malachi together, and I know Coach has said it too. Tripp was just a winner.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're playing checkers, if you're playing spades, if you're playing whatever, Tripp's going to find a way to win the game. That's where it breeds too. You had kids like that with CJ, and those kids, they were winners. They weren't going to lose. And if you beat them, you had to play your best.
Yeah.
And, same thing you guys are going through right now. And I know I've seen y'all's stuff and y'all have talked about it. Not a lot of people are fans of, we ain't got nothing to play for. Who cares when you go 5-5 or 6-4 and you went from having 24 kids to now you've got 65 kids.
Gigantic.
Because everybody in your building now is, hey guys, I want to go be a part of that.
Yep.
I'm glad you brought that. Have you? And Eric has brought this up. He and I have talked about it a lot. And here's when I knew this football team at White County was pretty good. Eric, I said, how good are they? He said, this was coming into the issue. He goes, Chris, they're very good.
Yeah.
I said, what happened the first week? He goes, it was just a flat-out fluke.
Yeah.
He said it was just a fluke. He said, but this football team is got some real potential to make some noise down the line. And if Eric Mitchell's saying that, he doesn't give out compliments lightly.
No.
Okay?
Unless it's to himself.
Exactly. That his golf game. But I guess where I'm going is, have you seen in your halls now that you got kids that 5 years ago wouldn't be playing football
100%.
that have decided, hey, I'm going to go do that because I want to be part of success?
Well, you've got that. And then on Friday nights, when I first got to White County, on Friday nights, people were just coming to watch the band, and then they would leave.
It was a social event.
Absolutely it was.
I said that a lot.
And you also had, the White County Fair, which I know you guys deal with that. The White County Fair comes in on Friday night, and we're playing Cookeville or we're playing Livingston or somebody like that. Everybody's watching the monster truck rally.
Yeah.
Well, now, hey, we're going to miss that, and we're going to go watch a football game. It breeds a lot of success in your school when your athletic programs are churning. Now, we and it's funny, Eric and I talked about this today. You guys have a situation where I don't care if you were playing UNACA. And if anybody's listening can tell you where UNACA's at, they're really good.
I'm going to look at them. Trevor won't know where that's at.
Trevor won't know where UNACA's at. But, they're going to come to the ball games and watch. Now you're putting a product on the field that they want to come and support.
They want to be a part of.
Yep. And just like tonight, I mean, you guys will have a good crowd. There'll be 100, 150 students here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just because they want to come be a part of it.
Yeah.
And it's in every sport. When you win, people that haven't attended a ball game, all of a sudden they start showing up.
Yeah.
Or hey, can you get me on the pass list? Amazing what happens when you get to a sub-state game. You hear from people you ain't heard from since the Kennedy administration.
All right, quick question on this. When it came to basketball scheduling this year, how many teams were trying, especially the men's teams, were saying, we want y'all's very first week. We want to play. How many people are like, we want that first week? We want to play y'all's boys team as early as possible.
I'm going to be honest with you. Mitchell learned his lesson last year when we played an in-school game against Chattanooga Christian, and he only had 6 guys, and one of them fouled out. But no, it does work a little bit. it's a pros and cons.
Yes, there's some pros and cons.
And there really is. And you know, I know like Oakland, who expects to be playing the second week of December, their boys team doesn't play a game till after that.
Yeah.
Which can make scheduling a nightmare. You know, the thing about it with basketball, obviously, I mean, we've always played Warren County that week of Thanksgiving every year, and we are this year. It's extremely hard for us to get a schedule, and I mean, you know, Mitchell on golf, he just throws a dart and finds a golf match across the state. It's amazing where he can go play golf matches, but you know, it's a testament to your school when that stuff happens.
Absolutely.
When you're having to struggle to find, and like this year for us, you know, we're having to play, like the boys are playing a boys-only game on Friday night, and we're having to play a girls-only game on Saturday.
Ooh.
You know, it's part of it. I mean, it happens. You don't like that because it's, you know, you're putting your fans in a disposition. But man, when you're in small town settings, one high school settings, your community support's the biggest thing. And you guys talk about it all the time with various stuff, and you guys go with the rants and things like that. You're spot on.
Yeah.
Because these kids deserve Friday nights for the bleachers to be full, not empty.
Absolutely.
Basketball games, they deserve to be full. Volleyball, soccer, whatever it may be, flag football.
Yeah.
They deserve for it to be full, and that's the whole thing and the whole speculation. But, you know, the football program, you know, for years it was everybody wanted to play White County non-district.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, we're playing Tullahoma. I mean, we're having to play Tullahoma, and you know, a couple of years ago, you're going, man, they won a state title. Well, that's all we could get.
Yeah.
And it's statewide. I mean, who wants to go play Alcoa? Give me a break. Ain't nobody chomping at the bit to go play Alcoa.
No,
but I mean, it is what it is there. But it's fun when you get your involvement there.
So I knew this is why. I love Dodge. Cause we can go. Hey, we could do a podcast that lasts for 5 hours.
Oh, no question. I was gonna say if you got to admit anything less, because we're gonna take one more break.
We got the Main Street Media, who is doing a great job of trying to promote high school athletics. Right. I know you're a big part of UCR.
Mm-hmm.
What have you seen, and how proud are you that it seems in the Upper Cumberland with things like Main Street Media and the UCR? How proud are you that it looks like that these type organizations are doing it the right way, trying to promote high school kids in ways that 5, 10, 15 years ago it didn't happen?
Maybe the only positive that came out of COVID.
You may be right.
I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, because if COVID hadn't have happened, I don't know if this stuff would have came around.
Okay.
Because that was the access for people to get to watch and see, and for people that, rightfully so, were afraid to come out because everybody got scared to death. You know, some people did get sick. Some people did have some situations. But to be able on a Friday night to go cover a game like last year, we played at CAK, and we went down there and covered the game. And I just happened to look down on our device, and we had 800 devices watching the ball game.
He said it last week.
It was unreal.
Not 800 people. You got 800 devices.
Yeah.
Now, the catch-22 on that is people are going to say, well, they're not coming to the game. Okay, I get that too.
Yeah.
Some people can't get to the game.
Agreed.
But that grandparent, you know, and I'll go back to when Gracie played. My dad's the athletic director at Farragut. Well, most of the time on Tuesdays and Friday nights, Farragut basketball's playing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was in a nursing home at the time. Well, all we had to do was show her how to log into that. She got to watch all of her granddaughter's games.
That's awesome.
Some of these kids have family members in Florida, Colorado. It's amazing on Friday nights.
Yes.
And Noah does it, and Noah will say, hey, let us know where you're watching from.
Yeah.
We've had people from California, from Canada.
We had one the other night from London.
Had a friend from London.
I mean, if I'm in London, England, the last thing I'm going to tune into is this bozo trying to call a game. I mean, you know, but it gives these kids. Now, On the flip side, as a coach,
Yeah.
it's another way to get film because there's always some coaches that won't trade film. But I know
it's all those girls coaches.
Hey,
Boys
well,
coaches, we always trade.
Yeah, y'all trade film like Nixon had files at Watergate.
Hey, if you need anything from Boyd, let me know. I'll get to you. We'll figure it out.
If you can help me figure out a way to beat Dyersburg in my own Christmas tournament, I don't know who the idiot was that let Dyersburg come to the Christmas tournament, but by God, we got them in there.
All right, Coach, man, we really appreciate you stopping by. Chad, we're going to send it to the last break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up this Pioneer pregame show. But thanks so much for everybody, the sponsors on here, Scooters Coffee, Tree City Realty with Jonathan Jones. We got Coffee Bank and Trust, Chase over there, Ben Loman Connect, and Green Pressure Washing, also Graves Family Pharmacy. This is Michael Dodge, and I really appreciate everybody coming in and listening to him here.
We found the guy's going to replace Trev with Trevor.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. Trev, I mean, you know. Hey,
we'll take it to the commercial.
Storage, your trusted movers and proud supporters of Middle Tennessee Youth Athletics.
That doesn't surprise me.
Not at all. All right, we are back here on the Pioneer pregame show. I am Jeff Simmons. I am here with Coach Chris Sullins. Appreciate Coach Dodge stopping by. Coach CJ stopping by.
You know what's
Coach
funny?
Bolivia.
We kind of talked about today, hey, like who's going to come on the show, and all of a sudden we've had just local celebrities, legends of the community and the state. Hey, pretty good show tonight.
I mean, they hear about it, and it was not hard to convince anybody. We just start seeing people and we're like, hey, we're going to hear.
The one thing that I didn't get to bring up is Dodgen said when he told me he couldn't be here at about 6:15, there was a reason, because there was a local restaurant establishment that he had to go to.
Oh,
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I got to go here. You know what I mean?
Hey, well, let's tell you about a couple more local establishments, including Coffee Bank and Trust. Bank like a champ with Coffee Bank and Trust right here in Minville. Score big with mobile banking, drive-through access, and personalized service because their team is rooted in our community. Coffee Bank and Trust at 569 Chancery Street. Also want to let you know about, hey, if you need that perfect pick-me-up, head to Scooters. Oh, I'm done with my Scooters drink. I had to move it over there. Head to Scooters Coffee, where signature favorites like the Caramelicious Hot or Iced Espresso Smoothies and breakfast treats, quick, tasty, and brewed just for you. Scooters Coffee, located in the heart of McMinnville. Right there, that is Tree City.
Oh, here we go. We got Tree City looking to plant new roots in Warren County. Meet Jonathan Jones, hometown broker and co-owner of Tree City Realty in Memphis, Tennessee. With deep family ties in real estate and construction, Jonathan knows how to turn buying or selling a house into finding a home. That is Tree City Realty.
Hey, 474
sale. Hey, that's a great. Think about that. That's a good number.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. And also Greens Power Washing. Thank you to them for coming over here and pressure washing this deck, getting ready for the entire season. The dock that everybody.
The dock.
I love that we're up here, and then we get everybody the passers through that always give us the. I like what y'all are doing there.
I feel that.
I like that a lot, man. Well, hey, again, too, I really appreciate Coach Dodge coming here because, Chris, it is nice that tonight, before we get into, and we're going to dig into just the roots of this entire game here in just a second, but it is nice to look at this game because in some ways it is like that. You're kind of looking in the future because you've seen how this Sparta program has built it, and they started the exact same way that Warren County is in year one of non-region play. Warren County 3-3 with that. Can they make it to 4-3? If they can make it to 4-3 tonight, what do they have to do right?
Well, I think the one thing CJ brought it up. I think we got to make sure that we don't turn the football over.
They might need to ask volleyball players how to win right now. They're doing a pretty good job of it.
Volleyball just dominates the competition.
I think
they can't turn the football over.
Yeah.
I think they have to at least match the physicality that White County's going to bring. I think Coach Ballou brought that up. White County's a physical football team. You got to be able to match it. And like CJ talked about, you cannot allow White County to go on long, lengthy drives that just wear you out. So when you're in the third and fourth quarter, you don't have legs in those types. Because that's what they want to do. White County wants to just pound.
Yep.
Almost pound you into submission. I don't want to say this will come across the wrong way. Yeah. It's not a flashy football.
No.
This is not, hey, we're not going to highlight reel you. We're going to sit there and say, here it is. Can you stop it? And that's a concern for Warren County. If we can get off the field and not turn the football over, I feel pretty good about our chances.
Yeah, I think the thing that you're going to want, I think if you're Coach Barrett Ballou, in some aspects in this game, and I know that they've deferred a lot. If I win the toss, I think I want the ball.
I think I want to take the lead.
I want to try to get into the lead and make some things here. Another thing, you might need, if Warren County strikes quick in this game, they might need to take a little play out of the Josh Heupel playbook. That right guard who's holding on the kick team might need to have my knee, and let us a little rest a little bit on the special teams before we kick on that, because like you said, these White County drives could be long and methodical, so you're going to need some breaks in between that. Other than that, I think, look,
there's a legend too. There's Mo.
The
Mo's in the house.
We need some momentum tonight when we're talking about that, because I really do think that's going to be huge in this game. Warren County needs something to go well for them early, either if it's a defensive stop or it's a big touchdown. I don't think it matters.
I think you just brought up something that's really interesting when it comes to who wants the ball first. I think White County, they're a team that they like playing with the lead.
Yeah.
Because then they can wear on you. Yeah. They can kind of play at their pace and their style. White County gets behind by a couple touchdowns. I think in some ways it changes who they are.
Yeah.
So if you can get up early on this football team, I think that would be a huge advantage for Warren County tonight.
Yeah.
If for some reason White County comes out and they drive the football at the length of the field with a 15, 16 play drive, I'm sure there'll be some concern on the sidelines of Warren County.
Yeah, well, hey, we asked for questions earlier in the broadcast, and we got one from somebody. And I'm thinking that they might have been they might have listened to our elementary basketball talk on Wednesday, because John Templeton said, hey, how many starters do you think they're going to play tonight?
Well, I'm going to be honest, John. I think they're going to play all of them tonight. All the starters will play.
You don't think that, maybe in the second quarter they're going to go to half, and then by the third quarter, only a third, and then by the fourth quarter, nobody's out there?
I'm going to be honest. Knowing these two teams and some of the coaches that are on these staffs, I don't think they had a lot of discussion on how many starters and reserves were playing tonight.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw a conversation about somebody that was debating like college depth and like how many plays that people can play. And, we need people that, like, you can't start. And there was fans saying, stop saying these kids can't play 75 snaps. They can. And then I'm sitting there listening to Dodson talk about Sims, and I'm like, this kid's playing 100 snaps. I think he's fine.
I think Sims actually plays in the band at halftime, from my understanding. He never comes off the field.
Isaiah Robledo's probably going to have to play Isaiah Robledo, Sims, those guys, you're probably going to see them play every single snap. Holden Baker says if we're going to do a fake injury on the field goal, Coach Ballou has to come out on the field and really sell it. Well, hey, good thing on that one is on Matt Baker is Ballou comes out on the field on every injury.
Yes.
So maybe
or Holden, hey, you're a Homeland Security guy. Maybe just you walk on the field and say, hey, just hold up for a second.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Check the perimeter.
Just got to make sure everything's okay. Need a 5-minute blow there. Help the home team out there, baby.
Hey, we'll take it. We'll take any help that we can get here. The thing that I'm starting to like a lot right here, Sullins, is and now granted they're not going to like it. I hope they're listening to us on Star 107. Is I'm starting to see a lot of traffic out here.
No, there's a lot of traffic,
which means we're going to see a lot of people here.
Well, let's be honest. This is going to be. This will rival the DeKalb County game as far as crowd. There's no doubt about it. I mean, White County travels well. They always have. One reason, as an athletic director, you want to put White County, Warren County, DeKalb County on the schedule. Coach Todd didn't bring it up, but hey, these teams travel well.
Oh, very well.
So we know this is going to be a hotly contested game when it comes to fan bases, and that's the way it should be. You know, I mean, we're always looking forward to that White County, Warren County deal, a little bit because of how the fans support it.
Yeah, and I keep hearing cheering and some chants from behind us, so it's getting obviously getting fired up back there. Coach, for the people out there, you still got about 20 minutes if you want to come over here to Nunley Stadium for the Warren County Pioneers versus White County Warriors game. If you're not going to make it, well, guess what? You can stay on Star 107 because the voice of the Pioneers, the Warren County Sports Hall of Famer, the legend, Jay Walker and his sidekick Jeff Lee will be kicking off the game at 7 o'clock tonight. Their pregame coverage with Coach Eric Ballou will start here right after our show here on the Pioneer pregame, where we're perched up in the nest. We're up on the dock. Over the hedges over here. But if you're not going to do that, you can check in with Jay and Jeff again. Too, we were talking about it today. We're on the back half of this schedule.
Yes.
We're in the potential of the Final Five for the Jay Walker Final Five football games.
Winding down.
So,
Guys done it for like 30 years.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's on that. So, stay tuned. Make sure you're listening to him and let him go on, and let him serenade you with hopefully what is a Pioneer win. Do you have a score for tonight, or are we? I don't even. I just want to see the Pioneers play really well.
I think hey, we just want a W. I don't know if we're going scores tonight. I think the
2-0, 50-0. I think
the game is going to be played in the teens to 20, something like that. I think that's going to be a score base that will be pretty accurate. White County's not going to probably put 50 on the board. That's just not who they are.
No.
And defensively, they've been pretty good. So I think you're going to see a teens to 20 type game.
Yeah, I always liked that when you talked about basketball, you were always like, how many points do we have to get to, or how many can we hold them to? I think the team that gets into the 20s tonight feels very confident about their chance of winning tonight. No doubt. So on that, Chad's looking at me like I need to wrap it up, which means I will. Go let everybody know about Ben Loman Connect, Coffee Bank and Trust, Scooters Coffee, Tree City Realty, and Greens Power Washing for Coach Chris Sullins. I am Jeff Simmons. This is the Pioneer Preview Show. I hope everybody enjoyed it. We're going to send you over to Jay and Jeff. Thank you all so much, and we will be back on the Pioneer Pregame Show for the last home game on October the 24th.